What's good, people, and welcome back again on another episode. Thank you for being here, and if you are joining for the very first time as well, please don't make it your last time. Smash the subscribe button and turn your bell notification on. There is an headline of another white flight that says that research shows that when Asian students move in, white families move out. So basically, white folks have been so afraid of putting their kids in school that have so much Asian people because they are scared that Asian kids are going to do way better than their kids. So basically, Asian kids are smarter than their kids. So what that resulted into is that they are moving out. Once they see that there are so many Asian people in that school, they are moving their kids out because they don't want any kids topping their kids in school. This creator made the video talking about it, and without wasting much time, let me just share with you guys.
According to a new study, white folks are afraid of Asian kids enrolling in their kids' schools because of the perception that their kids will not look as bright in comparison. The researchers looked at moving patterns in California and found that there is this definitive link between Asian families moving to a community and white families not only just switching schools, but moving out of the community altogether. After controlling for a lot of factors, they found that for every one Asian student that entered a school system, it resulted in 1.5 white kids moving away. And they found that the fact that Asian students, on average, perform better in education outcomes was the main driver of this behavior. It's not just California either. A writer found in 2017 in Johns Creek, a suburb of Atlanta, that as Asian folks were moving in, white people would move out because they believed that the schools were getting too competitive. This dovetails nicely in something I talked about a couple days ago, which is relative position. The idea that some people believe that a good is only good if they have more of it than their neighbors. If nothing else, this helps just put to rest this idea of the good school, at least in the white community, because a lot of times outcomes are used as a stand-in for being a good school. But what if it has more to do with relative position and homogeny?
Just as at yesterday, we were still talking about Asian people now struggling to get into school after they were happy a few months ago that affirmative action was being scrapped. Now take a look at another headline really confirming to them that white people will never accept them as one of them. Because why? They are people of color. They are not white, because they always think that black people are their problem. I hope they don't bring black people into this, because you guys already know how this cycle works. Any small inconvenience that these people have, they kind of relate it to black people. I really hope that they don't bring black people into this. Other people stitched to this creator's video as well that I would like you guys to see. So without wasting much time, let me just roll the clip and let's check out what these people are saying before we dive into the comment section to see what the people are adding to that video as well.
According to a new study, white folks are afraid of Asian kids enrolling in their kids.
The irony! Y'all be trying so hard to keep black people from stuff. They trying to get away from y'all too! This is not Asian hate at all. If anything, this is me as a fucking cousin of color telling y'all this is crazy. Y'all messed up. And we could have told you that, but y'all don't listen to y'all big cousin because we black and we the black sheep of the family. That's wild. Why do we give them so much power? Who cares? Keep your kids in the school. Make them own all the fucking schools. Take them everywhere. You know you can. China already doing it in Africa. Woo, Lord.
According to a new study, white folks are afraid of Asian kids enrolling in their kids.
This is hilarious to me, because if you understand the psychology of white supremacy and you understand the insecurities that drive it, when you see white people moving out of school districts because an Asian kid moved in, is hilarious, because that says one thing and one thing only. Your white supremacy, because of the ideals or ideologies that you prescribe to, tell you that you as a white person are the best thing on earth, the best thing since sliced bread, you know? But then as soon as someone comes in from a different culture that you have some knowledge of or perceived knowledge of, and see that, just the existence as a threat to your like ideologies, just goes to show how fragile whiteness is and white supremacy is. Because as soon as something comes in contradicting it, they have to run away from it, instead of, like most white supremacists do, doubling down and, maybe working harder to prove that, white people are, supreme. You just stick your tail between your legs, run away, and then just, point fingers. Like, come on. If you want to be a full-blown white supremacist, say it with your chest and, your work ethic. Or else I'm just going to assume all white supremacists are lazy, insecure, and just afraid of conflict. Even if there's no conflict, they just perceive everything as a possible conflict because they are that insecure in themselves. White supremacy is for weak, fragile white people that don't have culture.
According to a new study, white folks are afraid of Asian kids enrolling in their.
So you should really check out that whole video. But it reminded me of the interview that I heard between Howard Bryant and Bomani Jones. And Mr. Bryant is a sports writer out of Boston. He asked Danny Ainge, who's a famous basketball player in the Boston legacy, well, how come more white kids, American white kids, aren't going into basketball? Particularly at the elite level, the NBA. And he said that there was two reasons. One, that white families, generally speaking, have a lot of money. Therefore, they're able to do other things, other sports activities, baseball, soccer, swimming, etc. But the other thing was a lot of white families don't want their kids to be in the minority. And clearly, if you're going to play elite basketball, you're probably going to be in the minority at a lot of these camps. And that speaks to what the gentleman was speaking of as well, and that, once you get a certain percentage, there is this white flight, and, there's this cultural conditioning to have homogeny with respect to race. And that's a serious problem. That's something that we're going to have to overcome culturally, or else we're going to continue to have some of these intractable problems that we face in this society, particularly respect with opportunity and privilege and just quality of life.
What do you guys think about what they all said? One of the things that this confirms to us is that white supremacy is just pure ignorance and projection. They always want to be at the top because they feel so entitled to every single thing, and every other person has to come second to them, because that's the only thing that can explain why they're moving out, because Asian kids are smarter. And we hope the Asian people are learning firsthand, because when the black people were trying to tell them, they never believed them because they are black. After being happy that affirmative action was going to be scrapped, so now white people moving away from them because they believe that their kids are smarter than their own kids. I was able to get a few comments that I will show you guys. This person said, wouldn't staying in a more competitive environment contribute to your kid being better than the ones in lazier environment? It's because of their mentality. They always want their kids to be on the top of the list, so every other person has to fall below. Another person said, I work in a district where this is happening, and it is crazy to see the change. When I saw that video, I really laughed because it was so funny, but they need to wake up to the reality that it's 2023. They are not always going to have the first spot. Allow your kids to compete. It helps them grow. Not only grow, but it helps them grow faster as well. Another person said, I remember the relief on my friends' parents had on their face when I showed them my C average in the middle school. So this has been going on for quite a while. Remember back then when they will move out, they will even burn down those communities. Another person said, I have witnessed this, and I've had parents say that is why they are moving. They are so irrational, and it's not even annoying. It's now very, very funny because they are forgetting that people are evolving, the world is changing. They are not always going to be on the first row. And it is what it is. Another one said, I am literally from Johns Creek, and this is so true. There was always stereotypes against other schools because they had too many Asians. So when they have too much Asian or too many Asians in their school, they believe that these kids are going to do better than their own kids. So what's the best thing as a parent for them to do to their kids? Move out. of that community, move out of the neighborhood because of Asian kids. Another person said, white flight has been a thing for a very long time, and they do it anytime they realize their kids will be challenged. So how on earth will their kids ever grow? Because anywhere they go, meet people from different places who will challenge them. Challenges are part of life. They shouldn't make their kids run away from challenges. Another one said, this is true, but Asians got caught up in the affirmative action thing, and it came back to bite them in the ass. Yeah, now they can see that it was never black people. It will never be black people, because black people are not even like that. Now I hope they now listen when black people are talking, because black people use every fiber in them to warn them that never been the problem. But they always believe that any sport they don't get, it's because of black people. Now it's coming back to bite their ass, but I hope they are learning their lesson. Another person said, damn, white folks can't be around black and Hispanic people because they are scared, and can't be around Asian people because they feel dumb. Ucha about to be real fool. So that's where they are going next. Trust other people to migrate there again, and then they move to another place, because yeah, it's just what it is. Another one said, sick of white people's insecurity. Sounds familiar, like white flight after the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and when black people moved to white communities. They don't always want to be challenged. They always want to hold a position without being challenged. Like, how is that even possible? And even if that has been possible before, it's 2023. People are waking up. The last comment I have here says, it's like why people are changing the laws, policies, and regulations because they suck at parenting their own child. Their feelings aren't our problem. It's definitely not. I think more of it is people talking about how Asian people need to open their eyes and not, fault black people or always say black people is their problem, when the problem is right under their nose. Like, they can see it right now because they have always tried to use their proximity to whiteness to hurt so many black people. Let me hear what you guys think about this in the comment section. Thank you all so much for joining. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe before you go and turn your bell notification on as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, and I love you guys.